some stuff with Big Boy. What was with Parkway Pumpin', with Hype Enough Records, with Big Boy? What did the business side of things teach you as you were growing as a producer? You know,
Well, as far as the Big Boy, I didn't do anything on that. No, the Mystikal have a song that's called "I'm Not That Nigga." I originally produced that record. They reproduced it the exact same way. But a lot of songs on that album that Mystikal did was songs that he and I did already. He just put them on other beats. And but the "I'm Not That Nigga," that's the song that I produced that they remade. You know, they replayed everything that I've done. They just played it over. It's just pretty much the same beats with different sounds. But as far as a lot of the lyrical content on there came from songs I, uh, that I produced. And thing about it, they did it. I didn't even go to sue because a lot of those records, I copywritten them, all of them. That Mystikal and I did with both of us. He and because Mystikal when we did a lot of those songs, he was still in the service. So every time he came back down on a break, we used to get in the studio and record. At least in the basement on the Parkway, because the Parkway, that's where the basement where the studio was, my mom and grandmother's basement. So, but when we did that, the Mystikal used to come down and we'll record these songs, and when he go back, I just get the songs and send them out to be copywritten. I could have sued him for that entire record, at least more than half of it, because a lot of the songs that he did, I had them songs copywritten, which it was copywritten with me and Mystikal as the owner.
so why
But
didn't you sue him?
honestly, truthfully, I just let it fly. I wasn't even tripping on it. I just let it go. I just let it go. And that wound up being a gold album. But even locally, it did pretty well. I just wanted to move on. Okay, that's how it went. Shit, let me just jump on some other shit.
Well, didn't you do some Sporty Big Baller stuff too, though, for Big Boy?
Who's Sporty T?
Yeah, the jacket for Bounce 90.
T stuff.
The Bounce jacket for Bounce 94. Didn't you had stuff?
I did. I think I did. Me and Sporty did a lot of stuff. I don't remember a lot of stuff me and Sporty did, but it was me, Sporty, and a partner of mine named T-Bone. Because we was using his spot to actually record. As a matter of fact, and T-Bone, he was the one that actually showed me how to use the ASR-10.
Oh wow!
And a partner of mine named Mike Dog, he gave me the sound, like the Body record.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Dog gave me all of the sounds for the ASR-10. T-Bone showed me how to work the ASR-10, and Mike Dog gave me the sounds for the ASR-10. But yeah, me and T-Bone was the one that actually did all the production on that Sporty record.
And early on, what made you gravitate towards producing?
Captain Charles. DJ Captain Charles, because it's like every phase in hip hop I did and was a beast at it. Starting with breakdancing, graffiti, Grand Cupmaster D.ST is the reason why I started DJing. And when I started DJing, Captain Charles actually showed me how to DJ. And because I used to always go to Captain Charles because he stayed on the house that we have. It went from the front to the back, so we had the one block to the next block for the yard. So Captain Charles stayed on the back, so he used to always go. He used to always DJ outside. One time I went over there by him to watch him, even though just listening to Grandmaster D.ST. I heard the record Crazy Cuts, and I was like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to start DJing. But I actually saw Captain Charles the first time I ever seen somebody actual DJ. I saw Captain Charles, and that's what made me start it. And from there, Captain Charles, he didn't teach me how to scratch and all of that, but he taught me how to be a DJ, what records to play, how to play them, when to play them, what to say, what not to say. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain time when you play certain records. He taught me how to DJ, and that led up to producing. Like they say, every great producer have a great DJ background.
Yeah.
So based on DJing, I used to go to Captain Charles and to some of these gigs because I told him I wanted him to teach me how to do it. And so I used to go there. And in the meantime, you know, I had a little setup that I just was setting up, learning how to scratch and stuff. And I remember one time I went to a wedding reception with him, and he told me to get on. And I got on. Shit, as soon as I put a record on, I grabbed the Miss Times and went to fucking the bitches up in the wedding reception. Like, ho, 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 ho. No. So that's when he said, take that off. So why he ran the record off and he said, I'm gonna hand you the records to play. Cause when I went to scratching, people looking at me like I'm crazy as fuck. I'm like, man, this shit dope. You know what I mean? But nobody was on the dance floor no more. Shit. So after that, he got the crowd back on, and they were jamming. And you know, he wanted to take a break. You know, back then, you know how DJs now they do like 2 hour sets. No, we had to do fucking 6 hours, or you know, until they was ready to leave. So I was relieving them, and so you know, he said, "Come DJ." And he said, "Just do whatever I tell you." So I'm playing records, every record he playing, every record he giving me, and as he giving me the records, he let me know where to catch the breaks and bring them in. He said, put the record on this part and bring it in on that part. So I'm learning all this shit because I'm like, man, and then I understood it. You know what I'm saying? And then the records that I was playing was the thing because it was like a lot of old school records. You know what I'm saying? So now when it came to the producing part, now when I heard goddamn motherfucking Mantronics and Larry Smith, I was like, goodness. Now I was like, man, I want to do that shit. But came to mind was like with Mantronic, it was certain parts of the breaks that he'll just get that part, not like loop a whole song. He'll find like a little hit, and then that, and some of the songs that I was playing for Captain Charles was them records. I'm like, man, hold up. And I go back and I'm like, Charles, you remember this? They're like, yeah, he played it for me. I'm like, man, he took that part right there. But he was creative about it. You know what I'm saying? And just studying Mantronic and when Larry Smith would, oh my goodness, when I heard him and he was not sampling, you know. And if you listen to those two producers to where like I really don't sample, but if they have a hit like a little stab, I get it and I tweak it and alter it. You know what I'm saying? And then I lay over it with some original shit to where you couldn't even tell. So in between me learning from those two, that's where my style of production comes from. And then but those two, goddamn fucking Arthur Baker, um Rick Rubin and Dr. Dre, you know, so but Mantronic and Larry Smith, Mantronic and Larry Smith was the first producer that I heard that made me say, fuck. Like I wanted to do that shit. Like when I heard Cutmaster D.ST, Grandmaster D.ST, when I heard him on that crazy, dum, 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 I'm like, and he went, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, man, I won't do that shit. Captain Charles didn't do that though. But that's the part that I learned on my own. But it's like when I first heard that, I'm like, fuck, I want to do that shit. And so all of that led up to me being the producer that I am, that ended with Mantronics and Larry Smith. The great, they're the GOATs, man. I don't give a fuck what they say. Ain't nobody fucking with them. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who it is. You talk about they're not ghosts, they gods. So we're like, man, you don't understand, bro. But that motherfucking Arthur Baker and motherfucking Dr. Dre though. That motherfucker Dr. Dre though, that motherfucker, that man, he made me understand the importance of mixing and engineering. On top of him doing him being a great ass producer, he just made my vision and my aspect be like, I can't believe a motherfucker make a record sound like this, a hip hop record at that. So, you know.
Well, there it is.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
There's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.